computer.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to a presentation on the role of a provincial rules official. Next slide, please. So, I'm Sarah Laxton, a provincial rules official living in Smithers, BC. I recently moved here from the Fraser Canyon and grew up in Victoria. I began my rules official journey in 2013 when I enrolled in the Equestrian Canada Steward workshop for general stewards. I then went on to become a general steward and dressage steward with Equestrian Canada and a provincial rules official with Horse Council. So I've officiated at mainly dressage and 100 jumper competitions, but I've also officiated general performance, breed, and driving competitions. I started officiating as a way to contribute to the equestrian community that had given me so much growing up. And I've been very fortunate to have been mentored by some fantastic officials, including Richard Smith, Shirley Pedersen, Joan Weir, and Linda Miller. Next slide. So the topics I'll be covering in this presentation, and I'm happy to answer some questions at the end, are the Horse Council British Columbia Rules Official, what the Rules Official does, the Horse Council BC rule books, what it's like at the competition for the Rules Official, and your interactions with the Rules Official, and any questions. Next slide. So this slide outlines the provincial rules official and some of the requirements. So in order to officiate at a Horse Council BC sanctioned competition, a rules official must be certified by Horse Council BC. The qualification requirements and process to become an official are outlined on the Horse Council BC website. So if you're interested, you can find more information there. The provincial rules official plays an important role at competitions that serve the athlete, horse, and the competition organizer. So I'll run through some of those roles. The rules official helps. They help the athletes and horses achieve the best possible results while respecting at all times horse welfare and fair play. The rules official prevents problems. So in the warm-up and school ring safety, being monitored and overseen. Also monitoring the showgrounds. So keeping an eye all over the show and intervening in case of horse abuse. So examples of rough handling or irregular behavior. Next slide. So the duties of the provincial rules official start well before the competition day. So I'll run through before, during, and after the competition. Before the competition, the official must ensure that their qualifications are up to date and they have participated in required training workshops. The official must review the prize list to ensure that it follows Horse Council BC guidelines and can prepare for classes listed in the prize list. So ensuring that all the appropriate equipment is out, and to review the Horse Council BC rulebook as well as the competition specific rulebook. So for hunter jumper, it would be the English rulebook. During the competition, the official arrives early to meet the judges, checks the schooling areas, answers questions, and prepares for the day. Monitors the schooling area and keeps an eye out for anything that they can help competitors with. Also assisting with biosecurity and interpreting rules for competitors and coaches and assisting where needed. And then after the competition, the rules official still has some tasks. So those are to follow up with the competition organizer and Horse Council BC and to submit any necessary reports that stem from the competition. Okay, next slide. So fundamental to any competition are the rule books. Here is the Horse Council rule books, little screenshot for 2026. Horse Council BC competitions are sanctioned Horse Council BC events and follow Horse Council BC rules. These rules are updated on an annual basis and are available online. Next slide. Here's a screenshot of the jumper division rules. These can be found in the Horse Council BC English Rulebook. So note that there are descriptions of the division as well as sections on attire and equipment. If we look at the top of section 4.9, Jumper Division General Rules, there is a description of the jumper division and what it entails. And below that, the attire and equipment for the jumper division. Now let's run through a case study of going through the rules. So I'll head to the next slide. So here we see the jumper division rules posted up. There's a description of the jumper division. And then below that, 4.9.1, attire and equipment. General English performance equipment rules apply. However, there are the following exceptions. So we will run through this checklist. All equipment must be humane in nature. Check. Jackets not required, but rider must wear a collared shirt. So she has a collared shirt. Great. Gloves are optional. No gloves, but that's okay. Saddle pad may be square and colored. So we're great here. We can't see spurs. Blinkers, the horse doesn't have blinkers on. There is no running martingale, but the reins do have the one stop. And reins must be attached directly to the bit. Yeah, and draw reins are not permitted. And there are no draw reins in this photo. So we are good to enter the jumper division with what we have here in the photo. Okay, next slide. So here we have the hunter division general rules. And we're going to compare those to what we just saw for the jumper division. There's a description of what the hunter division entails. And then section 4.4.1 attire directs you to the English general performance rules. Here we see under 4.4.6 prohibited equipment. So bit guards, we don't see bit guards. Boots or bandages, we'll assume the horse is not wearing any. Any gimmicks, there are no gimmicks here in the photo. And cavesson, nosebands below bit are not permissible. Here we see the horse is wearing a flash noseband that goes below the bit. So that would have to be removed prior to entering the competition ring for hunters. And draw reins are prohibited as well. Okay, next. And here we see the English Performance General Rules and 4.1 attire. These apply for hunter as well. So hunt coats, riding jackets. The competitor here does not have that, so would need that. Solid colored breeches or jodhpurs. Yep. Riders must wear riding boots, helmets. Helmet should be properly fitted. Long or short sleeved collared show shirt. Saddle seat suits, so we don't see that in the photo. Safety jackets may be worn. In case of inclement weather, riders may wear a suitable warm jacket. Extreme temperature, the judges may permit riders to ride without their jackets. Black or brown gloves. So here we see the competitor doesn't have gloves. So a few things that stand out that wouldn't be permissible for the hunter ring. And next, please. Under equipment, for saddles, well-fitted English style saddle with stirrups. Yep. However, the saddle pad appropriate to the saddle, white, natural, or conservative color. Here we see the saddle pad is this beautiful periwinkle blue, so that would need to be changed. And next slide, please. Here we have a photo of a rider who is equipped to enter the hunter ring. So quite different than the rider we saw earlier, who is fine for the jumper ring, but would need to make some adjustments and changes for entering the hunter. So we see the noseband does not go below the bit, so there's no flash. The saddle pad is fitted and shaped to the saddle and in a white color. The rider has a jacket and gloves. So a good practice of running through the rules. Okay, next slide, please. While competitors at Horse Council competitions compete under Horse Council rules, we can see the Horse Council rules circled here in red for Hunter Jumper Horse Council competitions. So the English book as well as the Horse Council BC rule book. There are other sport governing bodies with rule books that apply to their sanctioned competitions. To make it clear, you do not need to know these rules or reference them at Horse Council BC events. It is helpful to know that they exist at national, Equestrian Canada bronze, silver, gold competitions, and international FEI competitions. Here you see tucked away the FEI jumping rulebook, and on top of that, the FEI TAC app, which is a free download and really informative about the latest international TAC rules. Are they part of Horse Council BC competition? No, but it is a great resource if this is something that you are keen on to explore further. And the stack of books you see in the middle of the screen are the Equestrian Canada rule books. Again, these are not used at Horse Council BC competitions, but they are available online from the Equestrian Canada website. Next. At the competition, being educated and aware of biosecurity procedures is critical. Here I have a snapshot of part of the biosecurity pamphlet that Horse Council BC has put together, and the really informative section on showing your horse has some great guidelines and information on best practices for how to follow biosecurity protocols when you're at the competition. There's also a photo here of the biosecurity risk calculator tool from the University of Guelph, and this is a great way to enrich your knowledge a little bit further about biosecurity and how it is even at your own farmer facility. Next slide. Once you're at the competition, you should regard the rules official as someone who is there to help you and your horse. We see ask the provincial rules official. So if you have any questions, please ask. The rules official is happy to double check a bit or piece of tack or answer a question you may have. Rulebook. So ensure that you read the rules and class description for the classes that you're entering. It will help you identify what the judges are looking for, especially in those class description sections of the rulebook, and help you avoid potential elimination. So download a copy of the rulebook onto your phone for easy reference to have at the competition, and have a close look at the prize list. So more than just seeing what classes are offered and how to enter, there's really important information within it, information about stabling, show office hours, and the other rules that the competition organizers have. Next slide. So a note to competition organizers specifically, Horse Council BC has the Provincial Rules Official Incentive Fund. So approved provincial competitions meeting the Horse Council BC Provincial Rules Official Incentive Fund may apply for up to $500 in funding to go towards covering the cost of having a rules official at their competition. So definitely something to keep in mind to help offset that cost. And last slide. Thank you for your attention throughout this presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions, and there's some contact information here to reach out to competition@horsecouncilbc.ca for any questions that you may have. Thank you.